Hello and welcome to another F2P gaming video. This time we'll be doing Colosseum Enel, who's pretty damn hard, but I'd say he's definitely worth farming. His captain ability is pretty okay, not amazing, boosting the attack of driven characters by 2.75 times at full HP, and lowers the lower your HP is. So not great, but not too bad. But his special is really good. It changes his own orb to your strength orb, reduces crew's attack down, chain mold to apply a limit, and paralysis by 5 turns. That's a lot for one special, as well as boosting the chain by 0.7 as long as you have a driven captain. So overall a really strong unit that you should definitely try and grab. But before we face off against him, let's look at the first 2 rounds before. So round 1 will be against Satori, Kotori and Hattori, I think. They will have stupid names. Pretty much all the characters you don't want to pull during a Suga Fest. So as you see here, they'll change your orbs into bother and bomb orbs, as well as putting up a damage threshold for 1 turn, so there's no point doing any trying to do any damage on turn 1. So just get rid of all the badly matching orbs. You can see this team is pretty rare recruit and legend heavy, but I didn't try to think too hard about the first 2 rounds. They're not too difficult, so you should be able to think about what teams you want to use against these. You can see on turn 2 that you get poisoned, so you don't want to take too long in these stages, but as you can see, they don't have too much health. Even without any specials, I've pretty much killed them already. And let's see what I think he does like 5,000 damage or something here. Alright, 10,000. Still quite a lot. I think some of that was the poison actually, so it might be a HP cut, I think. But also you can see it makes perfects harder to hit, which is actually kind of important against Shura here. He will bind 3 of your sailors for 4 turns, which is obviously 1 more turn than sockets can remove. And I got annoyed that Kanjuro was locked since he was my unlocker, but what can you do? On turn 2, however, he will actually put up a 3-hit perfect barrier, which is why obviously the perfect, making perfects harder to hit debuff is annoying here. But he only has like 3 million HP, so for most teams it shouldn't be too hard. Or you can use someone obviously to remove the bind on turn 1. So I hit a great there, which is obviously bad, but luckily Neko's do a bajillion damage. So on to round 2, which will be Gedatsu first, which is funny enough, he has his own Colosseum also on it right now. Here you can see he like blocks healing for many turns, and then does end of turn damage. So I'm just going to use Lucy, because on the next stage you can only use 1 special a turn. So I'm also going to use Kanjuro. As you can see, literally the only units I use are like Law and Kanjuro and Lucy special. So you can just use anyone else on the team, it really doesn't matter. The main thing is just to have a Lucy friend, honestly. Just as long as you can get the Lucy buff on the next turn, and then have like high attack plus an orb boost on this turn, you should be good. So pretty straightforward. This guy here, as I said, will limit your specials, as well as changing all your sockets to Dex, which is amazing because that makes the more matching for Lucy or Kanjuro if you only have him. So this is a pretty straightforward fight, just one-shot him in 1 turn. And then you don't have to bother with any of his other nonsense. So that was the first 2 rounds. Let's quickly look at the team I'm going to be using to beat Enel. And it's a pretty weird team. I'm using the new treasure map Gear 4 that we just got on Global. Since he boosts attack of Free Spirit and powers characters by ×4 after 4 perfects and ×2 after 2 perfects. It's pretty decent damage. Obviously not the most amazing since you don't do that much damage on your first 4 hits, but ×4 on the last 2 hits is still pretty good. Shanks is really nice because not only does he boost your orbs by ×2, he also gets rid of paralysis, which Enel inflicts on you on the final stage. Mihawk is nice obviously because he's a quick unit against the strength Enel. He's Free Spirit luckily since this is the Neo version. Remember that the normal version is not Free Spirit. You can use like Legend Sabo if you have him. I actually do have him, but I'm trying to field a full free-to-play team. But I'm going to be using Raid Sabo instead, obviously for the extra damage. You can also, of course, use Neo Sabo. Might be better, I'm not too sure, because there is some quick units you need to beat. And the last unit on the team is Shuryu from the Colosseum. He's really nice for stage 4 because he will kill all the mobs around Wiper. You can use Raid Frankie instead, and he'll clear out the mobs. But I think Shuryu might be very important because he actually gives you 3 turns of 50% damage reduction. And you have to tank quite a lot of hits from Wiper, so that's actually really nice because you're not going to do a lot of damage with the first 2 hits anyway because of Gear 4. So the fact that he's only a driven and not a Free Spirit character is fine, so having him on the team is really nice. The Law ship is actually very important because once you get to a low enough HP, you can heal with the ship. I'm obviously going to not use another Gear 4 friend. I don't think it'd be beneficial to, so I'm going to use another time skip Luffy friend to boost free spirit by ×4 and giving you a tiny bit more damage reduction. This isn't like a super safe team, I'd say. I'd say you'd be able to beat it maybe like 80-90% of the time. I'm not 100% sure. But on the final stage, you will have to do some re-rolling with Gear 4 special just to get matching orbs on himself and time skip Luffy. So with all that said, let's get started. So on to the third stage of Enel, which will be, what the hell is this guy's name? Ganful, and I'm not going to bother to learn what his duck's name is. I'm pretty sure it's like Pierre or something. You can see here that he would have despaired you for 3 turns, lowers your chain rate for 3 turns, as well as getting your sockets like binded for 2 turns. I'm going to activate Sabo special and time skip Luffy special because I want them to be up for the next stage as well, or the next 2 stages. I got a bit lucky there with the orbs, but you should be able to do enough damage either way to kill the duck bird thing over 2 turns and then slowly beat over Ganful. Here you can see I do the majority of damage thanks to the Sabo special. Here he will change all your orbs into just a bunch of random crap. Just gonna pretty much have to wait out the chain debuff as well as stalling as much as possible here just to get your specials back up. It's probably better to take damage here rather than the next stage because while he does the same amount of damage with Wiper, he does only attack every 2 turns rather than every turn like Wiper does. So you're better off actually stalling here, unlike me. For some reason I went too early probably. But not probably not too early, but like you probably can get a couple more turns here. But yeah, you also have to make sure that you do enough damage to kill Wiper. That's just a kind of important thing. Since the team doesn't do too much damage with just regular attacks and not specials. So you have to be wary about stalling too long here as well then. So here I'm going to one-shot him with Sabo. Just complete opposite of a one-shot, at least you had to attack with every unit. Here we go against Wiper, he will lock attacks on him, as well as re-rolling the special cooldowns on your captains. The Eiichiro just one-shots them, which is super nice, as well as providing those 3 turns of damage reduction. And then you just slowly chipping away at him. Super fun. You can also notices he has 2 turns of resilience. If you want, you can use someone like Raid Barto to get rid of that, as well as Barto reducing damage by like 97% for 2 turns. So that's a pretty powerful effect. Obviously, he's not Fruit Spirit, so didn't get a chance to use him. Also, he has a Rainbow Shield for another 2 turns, so really a lot of stalling to get rid of all the debuffs he has. And you can see they show you special paying off a lot here. Just slowly beating him down. And now if the team did more damage, I could like kill him now, but unfortunately not, so I'm just gonna have to wait for the Sabo special to be ready. What would be nice if I could get the time skip Luffy special to be ready on like stage 2 of it, but there's not enough time with this team, so you're gonna have to rock the stage 1, which means you can only use it on the next stage. Actually, that's not true. You could actually use it on this stage because I'm an idiot. I just realized that the only thing that lasts 3 turns is the orb buff. The attack buff actually does last 3 turns, so you can actually use the Luffy special on this stage. So it's a big bonehead move on my part. So you'll notice me, I won't use time skip Luffy on this stage, but you can actually use it here on your burst then to get to the next stage, just to make sure that you have enough damage to kill Wiper. I'm gonna kill him next turn because the Sabo special will be up. So as I said, you could actually use the Luffy special here, but I forgot to, or didn't realize I could. So I was gonna rock the Sabo special. So blam, 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 and he's done. And after all that, here's the final stage, which actually is the fastest stage since she's just gonna one-shot him. Your Enel will paralyze all your units, give you all badly matching orbs. Well, not all badly matching. He actually like increases the chance of badly matching orbs and makes TND and meat orbs count as badly matching, which means you couldn't use time skip Luffy. Like activating it here won't give you the orb boost or the orb matching. So luckily here I don't have to do any rerolling. As long as you get a matching orb on Gear 4 in time skip Luffy, you should be good. And that shouldn't be too hard, honestly, because especially if you get to actually never mind. But because you only have to, Gear 4 always gives himself a quick orb, so you just have to wait till Luffy gets one, which shouldn't be too hard to get. Here I was just checking which Luffy did more damage, and it's the time skip Luffy one, because I think it's cotton candy, and mine doesn't. Obviously first hit with 2 useless guys there. And no damage, and then these last 2 hides, wham, freaking all the damage in the world. 5 million damage. Mihawk did the other 2 mil, which is nice, and you're done. I might, to be honest, just farm the underground version, but this is a pretty safe way to be it with a fully free-to-play team. So hopefully this helped you out. Well, that's it for this video. Post any other teams you have in the comments down below. If you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord if you like. If you're feeling generous, you can donate to the PayPal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Nakama.